Hello friends, this is Raman with your weekly analysis for the week of August the 23rd. So we will start our analysis by taking a look at the Forex factory to begin with. On Monday, we are fairly low on the important news. We have FOMC member Lockhart speaking at 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time. And then in the Asian session, we have New Zealand dollar inflation expectations coming out at 11 p.m. Eastern. Going into Tuesday, we have a German IFO business climate coming out in the London session at 4 a.m. Eastern. And then we have consumer confidence for the US dollar at 10 a.m. Eastern. And that's it for the rest of the day. As we get into the Asian session, we have trade balance for the New Zealand dollar at 645. Going into Wednesday, we have RBA Governor Stevens speaking, which is tentative for the Australian dollars. Going further into not much important news, or the red news at least, coming out for the London session. But going into the U.S. session, we have core durable goods orders at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And then in the Asian session, we have private capital expenditure at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. On Thursday, we have M3 money supply for the Eurozone. Other than that, a fairly quiet, in terms of the news, fairly quiet session of London session here. And we have a preliminary GDP for the US dollar at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and unemployment claims at the same time as we start off the US session. And then we have some more news that is not as important. It's not red news, but we have the pending home sales. And then we also have the Jackson Hole Symposium that starts on Thursday. It then goes into Friday, the following day. Janet Yellen won't be at the symposium, so we may not get to hear a lot of the stuff that the market may want to at this symposium. However, there will be other members from the Fed that will be present, so we may hear some commentary coming out of this. Going into Friday, we have GDP numbers for the Swiss francs. Then we have German preliminary CPI, Spanish flash CPI, and most important here, we have second estimate GDP for the pound. And we also have preliminary business investment for the pound as well at 4:30 a.m. Eastern. Going into the U.S. session, we have goods trades balance for U.S. dollar at 8:30 a.m. And again, this will be day 2. Friday will be the day 2 for the Jackson Hole Symposium. We also have that Friday night, we have Bank of England Governor Carney speaking at 10:25 p.m. And on Saturday, we have FOMC member Fisher speaking at 12:25 p.m. Eastern. So that is for our calendar that's coming out. I also wanted to take a quick look at the main themes that are going on in the markets right now. So one of the things that we have noticed last week is the Chinese stock market is really taking a beating. We have seen the numbers coming out of China aren't that great, which is then as a result causing stock market to tumble, which is then having a wider impact on the world economy. We have seen all the commodity currencies are being impacted by that. US dollar has taken a hit, and euro is coming out as a safe haven currency at this point. We have also seen out of Greece. Greece received their first or third bailout payment or program last week. They were able to receive the funds in time to make their payment to ECB on August the 20th. We also saw the Prime Minister Alexis Tsipiras has actually resigned now after closing the deal with EU. We are expecting the elections to be called in later part of September. So this may have some impact. I expected it to have more of an impact on the market than it has right now. Looks like all that short selling is being repatriated in the euro, and we also have also a lot of funds are flowing back into the euro, propping the euro up at this time. So those are some of the main themes. Oh, also we had Fed market was looking to the Fed to provide some indication of whether there will be a interest rate hike in September. However, the statement, the minutes that we saw coming out of the Fed, there was no clear signal as to whether there will be an interest rate hike. They also said that there were concerns around the weakness of the global economy, and they were also looking at inflation number as well as growth numbers that were coming out of the U.S. At this point, the market has priced that in as a dovish statement, and market is not actually expecting an interest rate hike in September at this point. We may see one later towards the end of the year, but at this point, the speculation around September interest rate hike has really died down. Okay, let's take a look at the COT here. Let's start with the euro. So for the euro here, we have seen, if you take a look at the positions here, we have seen asset managers taking away, reducing their short positions, as well as leverage money reducing their short positions, whereas the dealers have increased their or decreased their longs, I should say. All of this points to more of a bullish euro sentiment. Let's take a look at the pound. Okay, in terms of the pound here, we have seen the leverage money long positions have gone down. And then for the asset managers, they have reduced their short positions. And so have the dealers here. In terms of the COT, it is a little bit, a bit more to the neutral to bullish side for the British pound here. Let's take a look at Canadian dollar. For the Canadian dollar here, we see the leveraged money positions they have actually added to their short positions. Dealers are reducing their long, and asset managers are actually reducing their short positions. So these two are offset, the dealers and the asset managers, and we look at the leverage money. Leverage money is actually increasing their short positions. It's gone from 47,000 to 54,000 at this point, which points to more of a bearish Canadian dollar or bullish dollar CAD. Let's move on to the Australian dollar here. Okay, for the Australian dollar, we have seen leverage money adding to their short positions. Asset managers looks like they're hedging. They are reducing their short positions, and we can see that offset in the dealer reducing their long positions as well. As far as the speculation, we have a leverage money adding to their short position. So I would say Australian dollar, the sentiment would be to the downside or bearish. We'll move on to the New Zealand dollar here. For the New Zealand dollar, we see leverage money is actually reducing their short positions, so are the asset managers, and we see the dealers doing quite the opposite. They are reducing their long positions as well, which all of that points to more of a long New Zealand dollar, more of a bullish sentiment for the New Zealand dollar. All right, let's move on to our technical analysis. We'll take a look at the charts here. We start that off with our Euro US dollar daily chart analysis. Over the last few days, we have seen very, very strong move for the euro here. Euro broke out of this range it was sitting in for many weeks, and now it finally managed to hold above this 1214 level, and we see the price go up. It did come and do a bit of a back test, and then it has continued on. Now it's going and looking to test these previous highs at 1465. If it holds above that, we would expect it to go higher. I am looking at more of a bullish sentiment on the euro here. So we're probably looking at it going higher to 1535, which is the next level of resistance. And then above that, we are sitting here at 1650 area. So as the price moves through, we may look for reaction at those resistance levels. But right now, it does look it looks very bullish. And if it's able to hold above this, we'll see it go to the next level of support and resistance that we just looked at. Let's move on to the pound. For the pound, we have seen pound trade in this range for quite some time. We saw that the pound tried to break out of the range, and now it's back in. So we're looking for more of the range bound market for the pound here. As far as the technical analysis is concerned, we may have an opportunity to sell here at these higher levels, and then of course we'll be looking to buy at 54.60 at the lower levels here. If the price does, we may see, depending on what numbers come out for the pound this month, we may see it go up as well. And in that case, we are, since it has been trading in that in the top part of the range for some time, for the last few days, we may see it break to the upside here. Then the resistance we are looking at is this support and resistance, very nice level at 5,800. Above that, we may see it go and do a test of this high here as well, which is 59.27. So those are the two key levels that we'll be watching. And to the downside, we have 54.60 as one of the levels we'd be looking for. Moving on to our New Zealand US dollar daily analysis, we saw New Zealand dollar has again been trading in this range for some time, and then we saw a smaller range developing for the New Zealand dollar, where it just went back to the bottom and back to the up and did back and forth here. Now we see that it finally managed to break through. We had really nice daily close on the New Zealand dollar, which would point to more of an up move in the New Zealand dollar. However, right now we are seeing it a reverse direction, so we'll have to see what it does here. If it comes and holds in this range again, then we are looking for it to move down to the bottom here at 6,500, which would be a potential long opportunity. If it holds below this range, we may see it come back lower. And in that case, 64.50 is an important area for the price for us to see if the price will react. So it would, if it does turn around here and hold above the range, we are looking for it to go to the 67.50 level, which was the higher part of the range right over here. So we'll expect it to come up and test this 67.50. If it does go through that, the next level is 6,800. This is for the New Zealand dollar. It was a nice strong daily close. However, looks like there's pressure on New Zealand dollar here right now. So we'll have to see where it starts to stabilize and find and where the price will actually stay. If it stays here, we're looking at range bound. If not, we're looking for these levels to be tested. Now let's take a look at the Australian dollar. Although, like I mentioned before, all the commodity currencies have really taken a beating with what's going on in China. And as we can see for the Australian dollar, the last few weeks, last few days, it's just been has just stuck to this smaller trend line. It hasn't been able to break above that. So for this week as well, we would expect Australian dollar to be bearish. Once it holds below this level, we may see more of a downside for Australian dollar. And in that case, we are looking for some of the levels here that we have is 71.50 and then 0.70 level. To the downside, so the 70.20 level and also 71.50 level. To the downside here, if it comes back and starts trading within the range, then the 74.38 level, the top of the range, would be where we may see a turnaround. And then couple of levels to the top here, we have 7,500, which is the top of this little range, and then we have 75.80 level, which is the next level of resistance. For the Canadian dollar, we have seen the market turn around and start going up here. The market, we had a very strong daily close on the Canadian dollar, on the dollar CAD, expecting some more upside move in this pair. It looks like it has broken through that top here, the swing high, and now is looking to go up higher. So in terms of our levels, we need to find levels on a higher time frame. So we are looking at this 132.50 level, and then 133.20 level, and potentially 33.80 level for a potential reaction on this pair. We are looking for, looks quite bullish here, so we may see it continue up further. So that is all I have for the market analysis for this week. You guys have a great trading day or a great trading week, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.